Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a very ecstatic episode of the Back Pages. I don't know about you, but I'm still buzzing from last night. Tony Ralston's 97th minute winner hit the spot in so many different ways. It was a moment to remember. It's one that I'm going to keep smiling about for the foreseeable future. So let's get into this video while I smile and let's talk about the media reaction to that goal last night, because boy oh boy, this is a juicy one. If you haven't already, please make sure to go down below and hit the big red subscribe button. We're at 31.1 thousand subscribers. That is absolutely massive. Thank you all so much. We've got 100 since the 31 mark so quickly. So let's keep it rolling and press that big button below if you haven't. And let's get into this video. Now, as you know with the back pages, we always dive into the back pages of the kind of the tabloid papers and such and see what they're saying in relation to the games and the kind of moments and all these different topics. And I give my reaction to that to see how it fares up alongside the media. But today I want to start off with the totally, and I said this a couple of weeks ago about Kyogo's offside goal, the totally normal reaction to last night's winning goal. Let me just touch on last night very quickly one more time. Absolutely magic, a moment to remember, and a goal that is going to be of mass importance come the end of this season perhaps. It's those sort of goals that can be the difference in winning and losing out on league titles. Tony Ralston's goal was huge and I celebrated it like the whole of Duke Street could have probably heard me last night. I had the windows open and everything. Everybody must have heard me, but I loved it. It was fantastic and it's one of those goals that will stay with me for a long time. But just like Kyogo's offside goal, it hasn't half stirred up some controversy in the media, and some people are really once more showing how hurt they are by Ange Postecoglou's Celtic amongst all of the good times with Celtic fans at the moment. And it is hilarious, I must say. I'm actually loving every single minute of it. I know a lot of Celtic fans are getting pissed off by it and calling him out, and quite rightly so. But personally, I'm enjoying it. I'm drinking in the tears. I think it's fantastic. The fact that one goal that came 6 or 7 seconds after a minimum of stoppage time was added had finished up. A minimum, just remember, keep in mind minimum. And it's causing up so much. Oh, it's just beautiful. Let's have a look through some of the most bizarre ones that's been flying about social media this morning. The first one's from good old David Tanner. He was touching on the celebrations of the Celtic fans after the goal went in response to an article that was published saying Ange Postecoglou forgives Celtic fans for pitch invasion after Anthony Ralston snatched his last gasp winner. David Tanner responded, "Time for a behaviour audit. I assumed it would happen after a bottle hit a player. Proper leaders must speak up and not indulge it. Clubs are quick to condemn rival fans and refs. If people feel they're entitled to do what they want, it's a downward spiral. Do decent fans feel safe?" David Tanner, ex-Sky Sports of course, we all know you very well. May I just ask, did anyone get hurt in the celebrations last night? Did anybody cause any hassle last night? Of course there's the hassle of being on the park and such. Emotions run wild. Football fans want to show their celebration. Is it something that we've seen before from other clubs numerous times? Is it something we see on a yearly basis? Yes it is, but suddenly you speak up when it seems to be the club that irks you the most, David. But the thing that is in response to this, which I love so much, is the Rangers fans who are responding to it going, I say a pitch invasion against Ross County, how embarrassing. The same Rangers Football Club supporters who ran on the park against Partick Thistle a few years ago to celebrate, no, not a title, not even second, but third place. To celebrate third place, just a reminder. So look, I'm not one that's petty about pitch invasions. I don't care. Look, I love celebration of football. I love the emotion of football. I think that's what separates this sport from the rest and being the greatest of them all. But we have some amount of bedwetters in this country when it comes to it. No one was hurt last night. It was all in good merit, all in good taste. Everybody came off the park when instructed as well, and it was all fine. It was a last minute winner. Grow up and let the fans enjoy themselves. Tom English, he had a totally normal one as well. Celtic had 8 international players in their starting lineup tonight and another 3 on the bench against Ross County. Hashtag bare bones. Taking it well, I see, Tom, as always. Well done. I don't understand where he's trying to go with this one. You know, this is a weird one to me. Of course Celtic have international players and no one has tried to say we don't. The bare bones comment, okay, say what you want, but the fact is Celtic have got through the last few games with 2 of their best players out on the sidelines, and Jota and Kyogo Furuhashi, the 2 key guys you could say, and the 2 guys that we are missing the most. But no, if we can spin a narrative on that, then that's fine. Tom English will look for a way. And one of my personal favourites, Celtic scored in the 7th minute of 6 minutes of injury time. The 7th minute of 6 minutes out of injury time. Now, if you're a reporter in football, if you're a journalist in football, and you're reporting on the sport, my only ask and my only request in this is, just like myself, who's, you know, I'm studying to be a kind of a reporter in football, and I've already been doing it on here for a number of years now, and I don't claim to be anywhere near the best. I know I'm a fucking specky twat, and I know that I talk nonsense sometimes, but at least, for goodness sake, understand the rules, the fundamentals and the basics of the sport. When the stoppage time is added, sir, you're adding on a minimum amount of minutes. A minimum of, you know, if you listen to the stadium announcements, it usually goes, you know, a minimum of 2 minutes, a minimum of 3 minutes. Last night there was a minimum of 6 minutes to be played. David Turnbull, who took the corner leading to the goal, was waiting on the ball for about 10 seconds, first of all. In that stoppage time, Ross County had, I think, 2 players who went down that added the time onto the clock. Celtic scored in stoppage time 7 seconds after the minimum had passed. Underline that word and keep that highlighted, minimum. And if you fail to understand that and you think there's some sort of conspiracy like Malky Mackay did in saying that the referee played the game until we scored, then honestly I urge you to go and take up watching another sport, follow something else, because if you can't understand the basics, then there's no point in trying to have a conversation when it gets complicated. That is as simple as it is. So I just wanted to cover some of the kind of main meltdowns there's been since Celtic won that game last night. Honestly, you'd think that Rangers aren't 4 points clear still. And the way that I look at it is, if Rangers, and I know this doesn't apply to every Rangers fan, I know a lot of Rangers fans come on here and they just want to listen to the opinion of the other side and they're respectful in doing so and they don't mind, and I don't mind. But, you know, to the ones who are throwing their toys out the pram about last night, they always make out that it's going to be so simple for Rangers this season. If it's going to be so simple, you're 4 points clear, then you have nothing to worry about. That's if you want to take that approach, then stick to that approach rather than crying about Celtic scoring a late winner last night. Celtic deserved their late winner, Celtic worked for their late winner, and the referee, you think they were playing to our side. I can tell you one thing, if you watch the game and you watch the highlights, it was nothing of the sort, because we had a man sent off that shouldn't have been sent off, so there's nothing about referees to be complaining about. So then, let's move on to the back pages. 97th heaven, Ange Hale's brave Celts as Ralston's late winner keeps title dream alive. The whole title dream alive thing, I think, you know, there has to be a conversation on this. I see a lot of people last night before that second goal go in, throw in the towel, you can say, and kind of give up the season. And I understand that. Once you kind of fall, you know, we would have been, I think, 6 points behind if we drew last night, and that wouldn't have been a great situation for Celtic to be in. But keep in mind, it is only December, you know, there's going to be a long way to go. Teams are going to drop points, there's still 3 derby games to play as well. It is far from over no matter what happens. I do understand it though. I think that I would have been initially at the final whistle last night concerned about our title chances if we didn't win that game. But look, that's a team that's going to keep fighting. And you've seen that last night, and I think that performance last night should give every Celtic fan the confidence that this team will fight until there's nothing to fight for. Whether that be us as champions or us as runners-up, they will fight until it's mathematically impossible. That is a different Celtic side, a different animal from the Celtic we seen last year. They ain't giving up easy, I think. Delighted Ange Postecoglou praised his injury-hit hoops for overcoming adversity and rattling Ross County in the 97th minute. You can say rattled because Malky Mackay, he wasn't happy. He said they scored in the 7th minute of added on time. I don't know how that happened. I don't want to ask the referee anything, otherwise it's going to cause me problems and put me into trouble if I say one more word to him. Where they got 7 minutes from is an interesting one. At one point it felt as if they were playing until they scored. Grow up. Once again, I think last night Ange Postecoglou showed why he's one of the best things to happen to Celtic in recent memory. Some of the quotes we're seeing last night from Ange Postecoglou are absolutely superb. He speaks so well, and I fall in love with him more and more every time I see him in the media. The way he stands up for the club, the way he stands up for himself, the way he throws shite back in reporters' faces when he needs to, is always fantastic. I think last night he spoke very well. And you know, he was asked about that pressure, and I think they touch on it here in the record. He was asked about that pressure, the need to keep on Rangers, and he hit out with the perfect answer. He doesn't care what's happening with Rangers. You know, Rangers won their game, it was support for us. You know, he cares about Celtic first. It doesn't matter what other folk are doing. He'll come to that when he needs to, but he's focused on Celtic. He's focused on us winning games. I think that's the most important thing for a manager to be doing, and he gets it spot on every time. He also speaks very well on the kind of chaos of the game, especially around that red card incident. He talks about the group of players and how they've been and how they responded in that moment. You know, they've been very easy, and we've seen it in the past with Celtic sides to lose the head, you could say, in that sort of situation and kind of throw the game away. But they didn't do that. They kept it, they kept going, they kept the professionalism around them, and that's how we ended up pushing on with 10 men to go and get that winning goal, and that's a credit to the squad that played last night, but to the manager for making the squad like that. And it's also great to hear the manager talk about the fans and give credit to the fans, back up the fans in regards to the pitch flooding and incident and the kind of reaction we've seen from some people demanding sort of safety overhauls. Ange does come out and comment on it, and I think he's brilliant. Honestly, I just do every time I hear him. The fans have had a long drive up and it's a long drive home. I hope they've calmed down and stay safe on the roads back. When you score a last second goal, not a last minute one, in front of them, you can imagine there'd be some over exuberance there. It was great for them because they've had a long journey and there's a real bond developing between them and the team and the fans. Nights like this will help that, and that is true. That is exactly it, and that is how I will end off this video, talking about the relationship of Ange, the team, the fans, everybody at the moment. There's a real positivity amongst those guys involved on the pitch and the fans in the stands as well, and you could see that last night, and everything is coming together nicely in that sense for Celtic at the moment. If you've enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. That's been that for today, and I'll see you all next time.